Here is a long, scary story about a spider trying to get to its web. The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its windows like vacant eyes staring into the night. Inside, in the shadowed corner of a dusty attic, lived Arachne. She was no ordinary spider. Her body was the size of a man's fist. Her 8 eyes gleamed with malevolent intelligence, and her fangs dripped with venom that could paralyze a grown man. Her web, spun from strands stronger than steel, hung in the rafters, a grotesque tapestry of ensnared insects and the desiccated remains of small rodents. Arachne had been disturbed. A group of teenagers, foolishly daring each other, had broken into the house. Their clumsy footsteps had shattered the delicate silence of her domain, and the vibrations had sent tremors through her web. Now they were gone, but the scent of their fear lingered, a tantalizing invitation. She craved the hunt, the thrill of the chase, the satisfaction of a fresh kill. But between her and the attic door, the only way to the rest of the house lay a treacherous path. The floorboards were rotten, riddled with holes that plunged into the darkness below. A single misstep would mean a fall into the labyrinthine depths of the house, a place where even Arachne, with all her cunning, might not survive. She descended from her web, her hairy legs clicking softly on the dusty wood. The air was thick with the smell of decay and the faint, lingering scent of the intruders. She moved slowly, deliberately, testing each board with a delicate tap of her leg before committing her weight. The house creaked and groaned around her, as if protesting her presence. A rat scurried across her path, its eyes glowing red in the dim light filtering through a crack in the boarded-up window. It was a tempting target, but Arachne ignored it. The teenagers were her prey now. She could taste their fear, a sweet, intoxicating aroma that drove her onward. She reached a particularly treacherous section, a span of floorboards that looked ready to collapse at any moment. She paused, her 8 eyes scanning the darkness. There was another way, a narrow beam that ran along the wall, but it was slick with dust and cobwebs, a precarious tightrope walk for even a creature as agile as she. With a hiss that sounded like the rustling of dry leaves, Arachne began her crossing. Her legs gripped the beam, her body swaying slightly with each step. The darkness below seemed to reach up, a hungry maw waiting to swallow her whole. Suddenly, a floorboard creaked behind her. She froze, her senses on high alert. Something was in the attic with her, something big. Slowly she turned, her fangs bared. Standing in the shadows was a cat, its eyes burning like emeralds in the gloom. It was a large, feral creature, its fur matted and its claws extended. It had been drawn by the same scent that had lured Arachne, the scent of fear. The cat hissed, a low, menacing sound that echoed through the attic. Arachne knew she was outmatched. She was a hunter, not a fighter, but she would not back down. This was her territory, and she would defend it. She lunged, a blur of legs and fangs aiming for the cat's eyes. The cat swatted at her with a powerful paw, its claws tearing through the air. Arachne dodged the blow, her body twisting in midair. She landed on the cat's back, her fangs sinking into its flesh. The cat yowled in pain and rage, thrashing wildly. Arachne held on tight, injecting her venom into the cat's bloodstream. Slowly, the cat's struggles subsided. Its body went limp, and it fell to the floor, dead. Arachne, her body trembling with exhaustion and adrenaline, surveyed the scene. The cat was dead, but the encounter had cost her precious time. The teenagers were long gone now, their fear dissipated into the night. With a sigh that sounded like the whisper of the wind, she turned and began her long, arduous journey back to her web. The attic was silent once more, the only sound the soft clicking of her legs on the dusty floorboards. She was the queen of this domain, the apex predator in this forgotten corner of the world, and she would wait patiently for her next hunt.